hello and welcome to Uptown Tonight. It is our basic New Year's Eve edition. We are our last podcast for the year 2021. I'm sure everyone's sad about that. So this one's going to be a really great one. We have Matt Aakre with us today, the legendary, the one, the only Matt Aakre. And I've been waiting to do this one. I was so happy when he said he would. I mean, it's just, seriously, man, this is you have someone I've always wanted to talk to for a long, long time.
Wow.
And I
didn't have to do a podcast.
Well, yeah, it's a good way to psych in. But this is the Uptown Podcast, is your FM area's weekly entertainment podcast. And the best thing you can do for us right now is to subscribe, like, share, and do all that fun stuff out there. We're almost up to 100 subscribers, and I know it doesn't sound like much to people, but that's a milestone for us. We'd really like to hit that.
Yeah.
And if we can hit that tonight, oh my God, that'd be really cool. So let's hit that subscribe button, people. So for the first thing we're going to do is we didn't really do anything last weekend except celebrate the holidays, which was very good for me. Very good for Cito, I heard. He was playing lots of Yahtzee.
Yes.
Doing his
Used
thing.
up half a book.
Yep. And I was playing Whist, which is an old man's card game. So that's basically all I was doing. What were you doing last weekend? Any stupid games?
No, not much. My wife's family actually is like usually the game family, and they usually have like a Jenga battle, but we didn't do it this year. So
one of the kids got the Jenga thing, and it was so loud every time it crashed. It's just, I found it annoying, but it's Jenga. Understood. Yeah. But let's see. I got a Mustang Minute for you. We do have an update on the old pony car out in the garage.
You have a Mustang Minute?
I do, which is in our weekend fun.
All right. Let me
first off, yes, we are playing or opening up for Hairball on the 28th, and we still have the JoJo Mayer DVD is still up for grabs. So those of us that can figure out who Peter Nyblock's favorite drummer is, last name starts with a W. I'm going to go with that one on here. I'm not going to give you any other ones, but last name starts with a W. So
I don't know if anyone's going to get that one, Wade.
That's fine.
Okay.
Fine.
Here's your Mustang Minute.
Mustang Minute. Woo! Pony parts. We got plenty. All right, so here are.
You should be buying band equipment.
Switch up today. I should.
I'm just joking.
And that. Let me see if we get these lights working a little bit better. Well, I
what are you
lost a
replacing
little
now?
spring for this somewhere in the dash. Do some stuff. So it's still working that way.
So for those who don't know, this is
guy.
little project he bought.
All right,
The
this thing is so
65?
corroded.
66 Mustang.
Literally. Look at that thing just fell apart.
Broke off.
Wait, you better hope the whole car doesn't do that when you get it running.
Okay, we got her in nice and shiny. Let's see if that does anything with our lighting. There you go, moment of truth.
I like when they send those pictures on memes where it says, "Do you know what this does?" and it shows that floor button.
We got high beams.
Fuck yeah!
At least we got one headlight.
Got the headlights working. Well, one of them. The other side wasn't working yet, but it's cold out in the garage, guys. I'll figure that out for next week.
That was your Mustang Minute.
But we're gaining on that. He's coming back alive, slowly but surely. But again, she's been sitting in a garage, or actually a barn, for 20 years, so hasn't been run or moved or nothing. So there she is. So let's get to Matt. Matt, how you been?
good. Really good.
He's been saying he's been real busy, which I don't doubt, considering like when he watches social media at all, something's going on constantly with this guy. But
Yeah, I don't really post a lot, to be honest.
You do. You do more than most people.
Okay.
So, no, I'm loving it. So, Matt, where are you from originally and all that?
So, I grew up out in the country, Rolog, Minnesota.
In Rolog? Okay.
South of Holly.
Derek Lean's country. Gotcha.
Yes,
yes.
yes.
It's starting to come together. Okay.
So that's where he came to be in the band, yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, exactly. I remember all that.
Yeah, no, he and I, he was 2 years older than me in high school, and
He's wow.
and he's yeah, he was just like the world's best drummer from, when we were very little, and everybody knew who he was for that. So later on, when it came to be that we were gonna kind of try and start a different band, excuse me, he was my first call, and I couldn't believe that he wanted to play with us because we were doing like country stuff. So
I was really surprised by that myself, just because I grew up with Derek. Basically, it was in the drum corps where we met.
okay, yeah.
And he was the little guy that was always trying to keep up with us because we were a couple of years older than him. And then just like basically one day he just walked in, just like, well, can I play this certain part? And it was the snare part, and he was a bass drummer. And we're just like, okay, Derek, let's see what you got. And he just laid it right out. And we're all like, holy crap. Okay, yeah, he earned his spot.
No, he's...
And right there has been total respect with that guy forever. Yeah, and then when he was saying he was playing country, we were all metalheads. Like, what are you doing, man? But yeah, well, it seemed to work out for him.
I mean, it was kind of a win-win because we were all eclectic with, our genres that we like too. So it, I like metal as much as he does to certain degrees, and he was mowing the lawn listening to Charlie Daniels, and we all have old stories that we could tell, but no, he was absolutely the perfect fit. So
that's excellent. Excellent. So you guys grew up in the same area, so you went to Holly High School, I'm assuming?
Derek and I did. Yep.
Okay.
And then I guess if we're going back to the early days there, I was...
Oh, yeah. Where did all this stem from? That's my whole thing.
So I graduated high school in 99 and was living in Minneapolis for about a year, going to a music school that doesn't exist anymore. And
the MIT or the PIT?
Kind of. It was Music Tech, which turned into McNally Smith.
Yep.
Or whatever.
Gotcha.
Yeah, long story short, they were training me to be a jazz musician, and I didn't want to be broke the rest of my life. So,
What's that joke?
At the age of 19, I said, hell with this, and left.
So what did you originally play? Was it always guitar? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Guitar. From, I don't really know when, very little.
Very little. Just woke up and one day you had one in your hand.
Well, my mom had like a old acoustic just laying around, and there's pictures of me as like a little baby just hitting it, and whatever. But,
excellent.
I can remember actually having that guitar later on, and it only had one string, and I'm just kind of listening to the radio and finding the bass note. It was maybe the 5th or 6th string that was on it, and just dun 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 dun, just doing that, and then
still
eventually like, okay, we got to add more to this. So
yeah, interest shown. That's something I never figured out.
Yeah, growing up on a farm, you were working or you were doing something else, and my something else was pretty much guitar, all the time.
Okay.
So from a very young age. And then, long story short, just kept playing and, did the same thing everybody else does when you're in junior high. You start your first little rock and roll band in high school.
Oh, so what was that called? Do you remember?
Yes. I don't even know why we had a name, but
you gotta have names.
You gotta have a name.
Yeah.
That's the worst part of a band is naming it. No,
not when you're younger. Oh,
no,
gosh.
it still sucks. No band name sounds cool until you're successful. Like if you had Aerosmith, like, who are these losers? Like, and then they sell 1 million records and they're like, oh, they're pretty cool, I guess. But no, it was the Nemesis, the enemy.
Ooh, that's edgy.
Wait, what was your first band's name?
My first band name was Zodiac.
Ours was with Andy Peterson. Was Slaughtered Leprechaun.
Slaughtered Leprechaun.
You went out there. He went after like a serial killer.
Yes, that's basically what it was.
See,
we had the little crosshairs and everything in the damn logo.
We just opened a thesaurus. We had just found out what that was, but but yeah, so we did that, and it was so much fun.
And what'd you play?
Music wise, it was Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, classic rock stuff.
Okay.
At the time, this is not so classic rock, I guess. It was 97, 96, but
But stuff that took a little ability to make happen.
Well, we just had a really cool group of 4 or 5 guys that, same influence. Everybody liked the same stuff. We weren't gonna be Metallica, even though we all listened to them. But it was like, no, not gonna do that. Let's swing a bit, And we had a singer he's been a salesman since the day he was born, and the guy just had that thing. And I was like, no, just do something with swing. So AC/DC was perfect. Nobody swings like them. So
Perfect. Then where'd that morph into high?
I guess, I don't know. I mean, a few places, but long story short, I moved to Minneapolis. Didn't like it.
So that was right after high school?
Yep. Was there for about a year, and then it was actually, oddly enough, a friend of my... Sorry.
I thought that was the old Apple computer over here going.
The Apple Lisa. Now it's my iPhone.
He knows about the
It's
Apple
speaking
Lisa.
binary to us.
It's my iPhone.
Matt.
Yeah. My iPod's getting messages. So
I'm wearing my Wozniak shirt that my daughter got for me for Christmas. And that was just funny when you pull it out, and I'm like, oh, God, I just geeked out right away about it. And I'm sure about 99% of the audience right now is going, what are you talking about? Wozniak was the actual inventor of the Apple computers, and then Steve Jobs is basically the salesman of them. So Steve Jobs did not invent Apple Computer. He invented like the name.
Was this the guy
co-invented the name?
Burned up his garage? Is that the guy?
Steve Jobs, it was alleged that they made the Apple Ones out of his garage. That actually wasn't true either. They actually had those made, but...
They lied to us?
Well, it makes a great story. It does. But they had to check them before they sent them out, because they're sending out just basically a motherboard. They weren't even sending out the case or anything, and they're charging almost $700 back in mid 70s. So
it's like an Xbox 360.
Yeah, but all you get was the internals. So you'd have to put all the rest of it together. So they had to make sure that it worked and everything else. And that's what happened in the garage. But there you go.
And that was your Steve Jobs minute.
There you go. Nerd out.
how much was the dual disk drives you have there?
That basically that whole setup cost me a little over $100.
Wow.
And then I got this one from Russell Pfaff back here. I can't remember what I paid for that, but that one works as well. And then we have an SE behind you.
Oh boy.
And if anyone can see above, we got the old Star Wars toys and the actual boxes and stuff. It's just a geek villain here. So. And I'm an vintage Apple guy. I just love it. That's where you see all the trash when you leave this place. That's old Apple stuff.
Will it turn on?
Yeah, we can play Oregon Trail on it right now if you wanted to.
All right, let's. Yeah,
You died of
we're
dysentery.
done. We're done.
Dysentery.
We're done talking.
So let's get back to you, Matt. So we're at not MIT. We're at the Music Institute, correct?
Something like that.
Yeah,
I left and.
Gets away from the jazz playing.
Yeah, the jazz. Love the jazz music. Anyway, long story short, I had heard about a group that was looking for a guitar player in the Fargo area, and just jumped in, and they were like, yeah, great. Okay. So we were playing, country stuff and
simple enough.
Yeah. The short version. And we played for about a year, and long story short, there was 5 of us, and 3 of us really got along, and the other 2 didn't so much. And we thought, okay, well, if we're going to continue this, let's start our own thing together. And so 3 of us went out and started a new band, and that's where Derek comes in. So we called
Mr. Lean.
Needed a drummer, and I thought, well, my first call is going to be Derek, so call him up. And yeah, like I said, he showed up, and we just jammed together, and that was it. It was pretty simple.
It just gelled, and there it went, huh?
Yeah, we knew instantly, like, yep, this is a guy. Can't believe he wants to play with us, but yeah. So
Derek, I hope you're watching because he was actually one of the first people I reached out to become a guest on here, and
Cool.
he's still. I'll talk him into it yet.
He's cool. Well, he's cooler than I am. So
Dirty dirtball you.
yeah, no. No. So yeah, that's kind of where it started, and then it was like, okay, now what are we gonna call it? So we three of us had this shitty apartment together at the time, and
The band apartment.
yeah, I mean, I guess it was pretty good considering some of the places I've seen, but whatever. Anyway, long story short, we had this buddy, nothing to do with music, just happened to be living with us, living in our closet.
Okay. That
It's
was
like
me.
Been there before.
Yep.
Yeah. He still hasn't come out, by the way.
I was waiting for that.
Sorry. Anyway, so we're at a meeting, and I don't even know why he was there. It just had nothing to do. He's like, "Well, come along, we'll grab lunch later." And we're trying to come up with names, and we're our thing was like, okay, we were heavily influenced by like Sawyer Brown, people like that, bands like that. So we thought, well, let's just come up with something cool like that, something catchy and simple to spell, pronounce. You don't want to have it such and such and puppet show, up on the marquee,
Of course.
So, but yeah, none of our ideas were any good. They were terrible. And this friend of ours, he goes, literally in that meeting, he goes, it was the middle of winter. He goes, "You call yourselves 32 Below?" I'm like, yeah, that's actually a lot better than what we had come up with.
It's amazing how things come out, just the simplest things.
Yeah, he was totally kidding. He was like, "This is the stupidest name ever." Like, well, it's a lot better than the shit we've been coming up with. So that was it. Like,
There
okay,
it's stuck, huh?
well, we'll call it that. I guess you can spell it, you can pronounce it. It's easy. So that was it.
Okay, so basically, if I could just go back and reiterate, so you had just the one band during junior high and high school, or were you just that's just a little morphing of the same people?
Yeah, I mean, it was a couple different versions of it, but I mean, my life was guitar from the age of probably 10. I don't know.
Gotcha.
I took lessons from Steve Stein for about a month when I was.
Ooh.
He was still teaching downtown, so he had just started, I think, teaching, and I was like blown away. Like, this guy's God. But I was a farm kid. My parents weren't gonna drive me in every week. Like, it's not like now where you have people driving across the country for hockey. But it was like, no, figure it out, stupid.
You're on your own. You can get this done.
So yeah, I took for that one summer. I was probably I don't know, 12 years old, something like that. And that was it. And then from there it was play, rewind, pause, play, rewind, play, rewind, play, rewind.
So you basically learn by rote.
Well, everybody else from our age,
Yeah.
And I don't know. I honestly don't know if it's, people say it's easier now, because of YouTube. I don't know that it is, because there's a lot of bad information out there.
Yeah, you got a good point. You do have a good point.
If you have an ear to hear notes, you could figure it out. And I had friends that were great musicians that maybe didn't have the ear, but it was cool because they would be like, I figured this song out. And they played it different than I did, but it sounded the same. And I'm like, huh, well, that's pretty cool. And then I got this other buddy. It's like he gets really into effects pedals and Rage Against the Machine. And at the time, I could care less. It was just me and a guitar and Stevie Ray Vaughan. That was my life,
Beautiful, yes.
So that was just me. But then him, I'm like, holy crap, this guy's, how did you figure out how to make that sound? He's like, well, you take this pedal and this pedal and this pedal. I'm like, shit, I can't afford, he couldn't afford it either, but he figured out how to do it.
Guitar players and their pedals.
Well, it was cool, but there was no YouTube channel to say, well, all you got to do is set this pedal to this
That's
And,
precisely what I say is like, how did we survive those years, and how did we figure all this stuff out? And everybody's got all this information that they can just siphon into, right? Like,
I don't know.
and again, like you were
but
saying,
if we
there's
talk
bad
about it too
information,
long,
yeah.
all we sound is like crotchety old guys. So
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
going to do that.
Like,
like-
I pretty much am. I don't deny that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm older than I'd like to admit, but I don't know. I probably haven't learned anything new since 20 years ago. But no, it was fun. I think back, we had our little nerd garages like this, and had a buddy with a really cool record collection that became our bass player at the time in high school, and pulling out Average White Band, pick up the pieces, and
Oh,
if you don't know
yeah.
that song, you got to play it right now. But Root Boy Slim and the Sex Change Band, stuff like that. And I'm not kidding, that's a real band.
Oh my God. Okay.
You should have the vinyl back here somewhere.
Add it to the collection.
I'll find it for you.
What's my vinyl thing? What was the name of
their
that
big hit
band?
was Boogie Till You Puke.
Oh God.
But this is just,
I got
this,
a few band names I could throw at them. I'm not.
no, but this was, just a buddy of mine that played bass in our little high school band, and his dad was a legendary bass player from the Fargo area that played in the, late 60s, 70s, 80s. And here we are just inheriting his gear,
Oh wow.
PA system, lights, record collection. So that's kind of how the high school stuff started. But so yeah, we just had a blast.
That's how it's supposed to be. And then you parted ways, and you came back, and then you're playing in another band that you just hooked up with, and then basically that band exploded and turned into.
Into
32.
32 Below. Yep. Gosh, it's weird. That was 20. I suppose that was 2001. So yeah, 20 years ago now. You know?
It's crazy to think about that, isn't it?
Well, it's not in a way, because it doesn't seem like that long, and then you think about like when I was coming out of high school, I was 99. If I was hearing a podcast about some band from 1979, I'd be like,
Exactly. That's exactly it.
So,
but this is the
yeah.
thing, is that I teach up at the International Music Camp here and there. Well, I used to be there for a while doing their drumline stuff, and then I'd basically sub in for their rock band week every so often when the drummer, Dr. Sig, Dr. Johnson from India, he's the one who usually does that, and then I'll fill in for him if he's going off and doing the European tour thing. And everyone who came in there, it just blew my mind, because I remember back when we were younger, is that you never played the old people stuff. You played what was going on now.
I know.
Or what was cool.
And
These
now-
people only will play 90s and before. Barely anyone will pick up anything that's even remotely near the year 2000. And I mean, it's almost 2022.
Yeah.
And I found that just crazy that no one's playing the new music anymore. All they're playing is all the old hits that we grew up with.
Well, I don't think there's a lot of new bands, maybe, if you're talking today, but even when I just goof around, 90s country is going to go over better than today's, in a bar.
True. And that's just the thing. It's just to me, I don't know if it's like it's oversaturation of stuff, or too many choices, America.
Yeah, I don't know. When we started, that was just a little while before, I was like the last to get a cell phone, and it was a flip phone. It was
holdout.
It was, I was, yeah. It was pre MySpace, So I think word of mouth spread quickly. Now I don't think word of mouth spreads as quickly because, with social media you can spread really fast, but
Yes.
I don't think it impacts as hard as like, I saw this band, they're really cool, and then you tell 10 people. It just doesn't happen that way today, from what I can see.
I'll have to agree with
It
that.
happens
That's what I see.
it happens in a different way that's probably just as good, but at the risk of sounding old and crotchety, Yeah, I don't want to talk about that, I guess. But
It's got to make that viral TikTok.
well, every 5 to 10 years, music has always gone through a transition where you had to figure out the new thing, and the people that were talking about the past usually failed. So I think the best thing is to stick to your guns and just do what you're good at, and hope that you make it out to the next level, I guess. So, but that's just my humble opinion, I guess.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so then after 32, let's see, because I know Derek came back. I think he was probably the first person to come back from that group out of Nashville. Or am I just making stuff up?
Yeah. So yeah, we moved, I guess, to fast forward.
Yeah, I'm just cutting across all this stuff.
We moved to Nashville in 2004. And then roughly 2.5 years later, I guess, Derek came back, and then it was about a year later the rest of us moved back to, we'd replaced him. And
it was actually that close.
Yeah, it wasn't far.
No
I think
idea.
it was 2008. So year and a half after him. Yeah, that's a long story, but I mean, we had so much fun down there too. So, can't complain.
That's just this whole other thing is a lot of people have come on this podcast and talk about how they're in the Nashville scene and stuff that they've done in the scene and all that. And
Sure.
it's just amazing how many people in this area have actually got to experience that. And I've never even been to Nashville. Been to Austin, Texas many times. I've never been to Nashville.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It seems like it's so oversaturated with just entertainment. Possibly, am I thinking of it that way? And then people talking about, like, you just stand in the grocery line and you have the guy in front of you talking about some record deal that they're pulling together. It's just that saturated down there.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's amazing and terrifying at the same time. It's like, how do you make a name for yourself? What do you even do when you get there? How do you even get work?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's changed. It's changed a lot even since we lived there. I mean, I've been back there several times, and it was great. But yeah, it's different now. It's busier. At the time, we were lucky. We had some connections when we moved down there, and we were working with Sony directly. So
Oh, excellent.
but that, like a lot of things that fizzled out after a while, and then another label picked up, and we started there, and you move on to that one, and it's just everything moves so slowly. And at the time, streaming had really become popular.
Just
So
started, yep.
so the industry, I think, as a whole, was really trying to figure out what to do with that, and they weren't really. There was a lot of what you call development deals. Like we'll give you nothing, and if it works out, maybe we'll give you something. That's what a development deal is. So
No punches.
let's record these 2 songs that we like, and we'll see how it goes. That's kind of how it worked. But we had some, we had actually some songs pitched at us that were really, really good songs, and it just didn't really work out. And we felt like, well, if you like what we do, why change it? But that's not how Nashville works. So you have to kind of play by their rules. So
That makes perfect sense right
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
yep. So I don't know.
How much did you play while you were down there?
Well,
That's-
I mean, we 200 days a year every
200
year,
days a year.
but we weren't playing in Nashville. We were on the
Yeah,
road.
exactly.
We would play like the Wild Horse Saloon and then a couple other random places down there. But the rest of the time it was, you'd go to Ohio, you'd go to North Carolina, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, any bordering state, and just basically try to get into a club, and you'd go just like now. It's like, oh, I'm going to go here that I've never been, and maybe play for $500 for a night, and then, but at the time it was a weird time because we had radio airplay in the Midwest, so we could come up to the, to this area and play for much larger crowds. So we would do that, I don't know, 2-3 times a year. And then that would afford us the opportunity to hit just random, Jacksonville for no money,
Just trying to spread the base. Yeah.
Well, try to build up a crowd,
Yeah.
because still back then there was pretty much no social media. It was like you had a really crappy website that you designed yourself, and maybe
I don't know what that's like.
maybe an email, or something like that. Table tents,
Exactly.
and CDs. I mean, we sold a lot of CDs out of the back of a van, 25,000-30,000 copies of our albums.
Wow, that's awesome. That is awesome.
So that was cool. It's by no means impressive numbers at all, but for us it was
to
cool.
me, that's huge. Huge. I know we made a record back in 2000, and granted, probably shouldn't have made this record, but I think we sold maybe 30.
Well, yeah,
maybe.
but it doesn't take that many to recoup the cost. That's the key.
Oh.
No. So I don't know. It was interesting times.
Which is good. Okay, so you came back, and then you just started rocking the area again. And I don't know. I'm just making this up as I go here. But
You really don't do research. Do you? No,
No.
I'm just kidding.
I don't. I like to hear it from you guys.
There's nothing to do. So we moved back in 2008. A couple of us had kids. My kids were getting close to the age of hitting school, and
Okay.
being home this area was kind of part of that, I guess, equation, wanting to be back
Yeah.
here. So
Completely understood.
we were living here, but still traveling just as much. So we were never home. You go to Chicago, we'd still go to Ohio, Tennessee, name a state. I mean, we were there.
Yeah, but the home base is here in the family situation. I'm
It
sure
does,
it's-
but if you know geography, it's kind of funny. Nashville is like 8 hours from everywhere. Fargo is 20 hours from nowhere. Literally,
Okay. Yeah.
it's
Point
it's,
taken.
It's friggin' 8 hours to Chicago or more. It's 17 hours to Nashville. It's 24 hours to anywhere in Florida. So yeah, we got a harsh geography lesson, and then that was when gas prices were like $4 a gallon.
Oh,
So
I remember
it's like,
that too.
I don't think we can afford to go anywhere, guys. But no, we just kept plugging away, and a lot of fun. Did 2 more albums after we moved up here, and
So how many albums did you actually do altogether?
well, one was a live album, so that doesn't really count, but we did 1, 2, 3, 5, and then a live album.
5
So-
studios and a live.
Yep. Which was not, now they'll put out like an album every year, and well, even back then, we were pretty slow. But
Hey.
I don't know. But yeah, 5 albums, and they're still out there under my name now, if you can spell it. So
2 A's, people. 2 A's.
yeah.
No, that's great. That's great. Being able to produce all that and then being able to keep going and doing that. And you're still playing today. That's like the coolest part about this whole deal. So
Well-
we had a little discrepancy that tonight possibly had to play in church, but the
Yeah,
week
yeah,
off,
yeah.
and there again,
Praise
still
the
giving,
Lord.
giving back to the community at the same time. No, that's very commendable.
Well, thank you. No, I took, when I left the band in 2013, I guess it was. Took probably 2 years off I didn't really play anywhere, and then had a buddy, hey, I'm playing this acoustic show, come out. And I'm like, oh, I don't really want to do that, because I was always in a band. I didn't really know how to play by myself,
Oh,
you
the
know.
acoustic thing.
In my room, it was fine, but yeah. So I did it, and it was fun. And then kind of just picked up from there, And then I don't remember when it was. I saw Ed Sheeran play with the looper pedal. I'm like, oh, that's a ticket right there. Let's do that. So I started trying to adapt that to songs that I like, just simple loops, not, because some people will do loops and it'll take them 5 minutes to set up a song. It's like, well, I'm already falling asleep before you get to the first verse. We don't want to hear
that's
that.
That's what I've seen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keller Williams does it really good, though. He
There's-
puts a show into it, and he's tapping his toes.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you can dance, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that do it well, but there's a lot of people that do it terribly, and they're just the karaoke of live music. But I tried to okay, I'm gonna do it. 30%. There'll be a lot of songs where we're not gonna loop at all. I'll just play it by my, just the guitar, and started adding the looping in. Got better at it, and now I love it. It's so much fun. But I still only do, I don't know, in a 3-hour show, maybe I'll play, maybe half of it's looping, but
Okay.
give or take, I don't know. But totally ripped it off from him. So
That's how a lot of music's made, though, is that you see someone else do something and you take the idea and you put your little creative spin on there, and then someone else will come by and take that and do the exact
Yeah.
same thing. So,
yeah.
yeah, you could say ripping off the idea, but, again,
Well,
there's a reason why they still make those looping
like
pedals.
Quincy Jones said, there's only 12 notes.
Yes, exactly. I've said that many times myself.
And I've only learned a few of them, but anyway.
Here we go.
Snap. But no, so that's kind of what I started doing, and then a few years later, I don't know, just the planets aligned, and all of us, the original guys from the band, were like, "Hey, you want to play a gig?" Sure. So we got together, and
Just
it was,
got the itch again.
well, it was kind of weird, we always had talked, here and there, and then when it finally happened, we got together in a garage somewhere, and yeah, it was weird. It was like 10 years later, but the next day kind of thing. It was just riding a bike,
It just fell
and-
right back into it, huh?
Well, we literally laugh our butts off. Like, the music is one thing, but we all have the same stupid personality and same stupid sense of humor and sarcasm, and that's, anyone that's been in a band, you could put, I don't care how good the player is, it doesn't matter. If you can't get along, it doesn't matter,
True.
So take 4 really funny guys that can hang out. They're going to be so much better than 4 super talented douchebags, And we were medium talented douchebags, but we were funny, And we really genuinely, got along, I guess is what you could say. So, yeah. So now here we are, just goofing off.
And it was fun. Yep. And then I know when I was talking with Derek about, I was just getting some advice from him about that, because basically you guys took, I would say, any kind of band thing that's from the area is about as far as you could possibly take it. So I was, looking for what were the secrets and all that stuff from behind all that. But, there really isn't any secret. It was just that you go out and do your thing. And then I was asking him,
Yeah.
well, when do you guys play? And he was like, what was it, from Veterans Day to Memorial Day or something like that? And that's the only time you'll play during the summers now? And I was like, well, why is that? And he's like, well, it's cold in the winter.
Yeah. Well, give or take. I mean, it depends. But no, we definitely have certain times where we'd rather be playing and rather just take time off, because
Yeah,
it's
makes
for
sense.
fun. But no, back to the, just a band in general. I mean, yeah, we were literally lucky. Like, everybody, we just have the same sense of humor. I think that's so important with any group, because you're literally going to be with us. I mean, we were on the road so much that we saw each other more than our wives and our kids.
Oh, yeah.
For about 10 years, and that's
Easily.
not a joke, and we weren't, you say a successful band, we weren't, we were successful on a certain level, but I can't imagine being like a big, huge, a huge band where it's like, that's just, joining the circus,
Maybe it's all about perspective too.
well, either way, but you're still going to be gone a lot.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
you want to be, I think if you want to be, successful in touring and playing live, yeah, you're just going to be on the road. And, we got good at that, I guess. So. But,
And we'll get these road stories at another time, but 'cause I'm sure those can go on for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, I mean-
I only heard a couple of them from Derek.
there's some funny ones. The hard part is you have to get everybody in the room because I can only remember a couple.
Oh, there we go. That would be really.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I can remember a couple of them, but then so and so's like, no, it wasn't there. It was at this place. Like, oh, that's right. And then that turns into the next thing. And so that's kind of why we have so much fun together. Is we'll just start. You remember that time at so and so's, and it's like, oh yeah, you were. It's just. Yeah,
Just
it's just
bouncing stuff off each other.
yeah, or
Oh,
dumb
man.
movie quotes. We're
Well,
we're all
yeah.
good at that. If you can't do, I wouldn't have anything good to say if it wasn't for The Simpsons and a few other shows. Really,
I do nothing but movie quotes
That's-
all
Yeah.
the time.
Exactly.
Well, you'll have to speak up when I'm wearing a towel. But yeah,
Awesome. Let's get to some of these photos we got here.
All right.
Now, I grabbed a few off there before you sent some to me, so
look at
some of
that.
these might be surprising to you.
Well, it's cropped
said.
funny. Looks like I'm just weird, but no, I'm a ski bum. But that's my kids when they were very little, 7-8 years ago. So, yep.
Where was this at?
Detroit Mountain.
Okay, right in the area.
I'll be out
Hey,
there.
It looks
Out
like you're going to
skiing.
the Olympics, like you're standing
Yes.
on the podium.
I'll be out there tomorrow too. So, but my son's much older now, and he's my ski bum. Like we just plan trips all winter.
I love that. And then I saw this. I'm like, what is going on?
I don't know what the
here?
hell that is. That you pulled that off a red line.
Oh, maybe.
Good one.
That looks like
Wade.
a wedding.
I don't
Actually-
know. It was just there. It had your name attached to
Yeah.
it. So I was like,
Oh
what's
man,
up?
that's Turtle Lake. I think. Yeah, played on the end of a dock. Acoustic show.
Was that the acoustic show? Okay.
Yep. That was actually a few years ago.
That's sweet.
It was great because they took, so you can only see a few of them, but they probably had like 20 pontoons all tied together. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, it was great. Did that a few times. That's playing for actually my sister-in-law's wedding in where were we at? Alabama.
Is that out on the beach?
Well, kind of the Florida Alabama coast there.
Okay.
So yep.
The sand's so white.
Yeah, beautiful.
And
The
that's how I
bell-
remember
the
Derek.
bell-
The pants.
Yep.
Yeah, that gas station doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, that was probably the first picture we ever took as a band, and we all know how fun band photos are. The friggin' worst. Like everybody look.
So serious.
everybody look-
Looks here. Yep.
Hey, you 4 fucking losers, look cool. Okay, now looking in different directions for no reason.
I showed these guys in our band pictures when we did the latest ones. I was like, all right, now look at my old band pictures. And I showed them us. We all look mad, Like, let's smile.
we had a photo shoot that same time. It's like the guy was like, all right, I'm gonna put this ladder here and you guys lay down. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Just take our picture, you idiot. But
Lay
now it's
down.
like, yeah, it was so much work, but now it's like you can just take it onto your iPhone and it's like, oh, it's good enough. Oh God, that's funny. So do you know who that is down there? That's Brooke Hogan, Hulk Hogan's daughter.
Oh, okay.
We played, I forget the year, but we played this Halloween party at the Shooting Star Casino, the big showroom. And so I went as Dog the Bounty Hunter. And this is at the end of the night. I had already ripped my wig off and like, I'm hot, take the shirt off. So Brooke is there, and then Carmen Electra was there.
Oh my God.
And somewhere I have the picture of her too. But Brooke was so much fun. This was right about the time that she had like a couple songs out, and they were doing really well. And so she was kind of on this weird promotional tour. And yeah, somehow she landed there with Carmen Electra to host this party. And she was like, I want to sing with the band. So like, okay, yeah, come on out. So I forget what we played, but so she comes out and sings, and yeah, she was just the nicest person you've ever met. Just awesome. Everything you would wish to know, like if you met Hulk Hogan, like, I hope he's really nice. Like, she's just that way too. She's just cool. And I think she's taller than me. So
I was gonna ask that.
wow.
I was gonna ask if she's
she
really
was
tall.
so I'm about 6'1", 6'2", and she was damn close. So, but yeah, super cool, sang great. And then she was like, well, let's go have a beer. And then her bodyguard's like, no, we got a 5 a.m. flight.
Were they taller than her?
Yeah, they were big enough. That is Fargo Dome.
Is that your band?
Yep.
Okay.
So that's 32 Below, probably 2000. Shoot, what is it? I don't know, 2008, 9. We actually played. We got invited to play the post party for the marathon, whatever year that was.
Oh, okay.
So, and this is just silly, but Johnny Home opened for us, which doesn't make any sense. But I mean, the picture doesn't do it justice because the whole bottom level was full. So I don't know how many people were there, but that was a big party. That was fun. That was kind of probably not too long after we moved back from Nashville. So the buzz was pretty great, of course, you know.
You guys were hot.
Yeah, otherwise why would we be there? So it was great. Yes. So that's so that's Troy Gentry of Montgomery Gentry. They're the reason we
okay.
moved to Nashville. So they saw us play. We were playing at the Mustang Lounge in like 2002, 2003, something like that. And that was right about the time that we really had I don't know, we'd been playing for a couple of years and the crowds were just building and building and building.
Yes.
So
I remember those.
it was just really getting fun. And then we played the casino, not thinking anything of it. It's like, whatever, you know, they're here. That's cool. You know, I really hope we get to see them play. And then all of a sudden we're playing and their show's done. Well, they came down to the bar and I'm playing like a guitar solo and I look down and Eddie's up there staring at me. Next thing you know, we go on break and they come up the stairs. Hey, blah, 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 blah. And then we hung out with him that night, got to know him and kept in touch. Next thing you know, about, I don't know, 6-8 months later.
Listening out there, connections, people.
Well, you know,
This is
yeah,
how you make 'em.
I've said it. Why did we do what we did at the time and not the next guy? It's a lot of luck. You know, you have to
That's
be
very true.
you
itself.
have to you have to be prepared for when luck shows itself. But and
Took it right out of my mouth.
well, yeah, and we were, but at the same time, yeah, I mean that could happen to anybody. But we were ready to take advantage of it. So yeah, long story short, they were like, come down to Nashville. So we went down there and did like a showcase that they set up for us. But anyway, that picture was taken during WeFest. We were playing at a club down the road from WeFest, which is actually now a church, which is funny. But they had this big outdoor stage, and Troy, they weren't the headliner that night. It was them. They were like the last act before the headliner. So it was Montgomery Gentry. Then Winona was going to headline. And from the stage at WeFest, Troy goes, hey, Winona's coming up next, but we're going to go up to the corner canteen and watch our buddies 32 Below. And
That's a hell of a shout out.
I could have shit myself because I heard it, you know, later on, but the place just was like, oh my gosh, because at the time it was, you know, we were finally getting out there enough where some people knew us. So yeah, all of a sudden, two 2 Prevost buses pull up to the place where we're playing. We had just kind of started the first set, and we had a decent crowd there, but we didn't expect anything. It was middle of summer during Wee Fest, and well, here they come, and then next thing you know, the place is just packed to the gills. And then they jump. There's a few other pictures from that night, but it was Troy and a couple of the bandmates, and then we played a bunch that night, and then I don't know, a few months later we moved down there. So that's a more recent one there. That's the new version of the band. So that's all the original guys. You got if I can see straight, you got Derek back there, and you got Jeb on fiddle, and Nathan's hiding in the back. But that was from, I think that's from not this summer, but last summer. So, and then that's a good version of the band. So that's all the original guys, plus on the far right there, Ryan Schmall, who is a really amazing musician from this area, who's been in several bands. But
I played in a band with him.
So I first met him. He was actually in my first little high school band. I met him through. So I grew up, in Holly. He was in Barnesville, and he had a little band, and we had a little band. And the next thing you know, is like, hey, you want to come play with us? And so I've known him since I was like a sophomore in high school, and all these years, it's like I've been trying to. Like, man, I wish you could join this group. Like, how could you do it? And it never worked out. And then now all of a sudden it's like, hey, you want to play keyboards? Well, the guy doesn't play keyboards, but he's the most amazing musician ever. He's like, yeah, I'll figure it out.
Pressure's on, yeah.
Yeah. So
okay.
he's like a great keyboard player now, but he's just as good a guitar player as I am. He's an amazing drummer. He's a even better bass player. And he sings like a bird. So I'm like, well, yeah, perfect. I don't care if you don't play anything. You could pretend to play keyboards and just sing harmony, because that's all I really wanted, was a really, really great high harmony guy. But then he's adding so much. So to us, it was really important to be able to add that little element, but then not change the sound of, the band that we had, because we do have a sound when we play together, because we're not all, none of us are amazingly trained musicians. We just kind of do our thing and put it together, and it worked. So, but you put him in there, it's like, oh, cool. Now we can play Devil Went Down to Georgia and Jump by Van Halen. Why not?
And Cito, how do you know that guy?
We started a country band long time ago, and then he was with us, and I just remember him. He was a bass player, and he sang harmonies really good.
Such a good singer. Yeah, and a great drummer. Yeah. Yeah, that's, I don't even know.
I always pick out the weird ones.
Yeah, you did.
Yep. So
No, that's like a memorial at some point, during like 4th of July or something. I don't know. Long time ago. That is, I wish that place was still open. That's, I don't know the name. It was in Breckenridge. Legends, maybe? I don't know.
Okay.
Old movie theater turned bar.
Oh gosh, that'd be really interesting.
And it was so much fun. Great stage.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I think it was called Legends.
I don't remember the name of it though.
But
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was.
I just keep thinking of Teddy's for some reason. I don't know why.
Now is that Luke Nygaard
Oh yes,
playing
Teddy's. There? Yeah, Teddy. It's similar to Teddy's, but yeah, yep. So that's Luke. So
Lukey Pookie.
Luke started in 2007, after Derek, and then
I've known Luke forever too. Great guy. God, he's funny.
Yep, amazing guy, great drummer, just a good dude. We all, once again, he jumped in, and it was like, okay, we don't have to worry, because every drummer has their own feel, and his was slightly different, but it was still just right for us. But more importantly, we all got along. He was just a funny guy, and he had his own quirks that we all have, and that's what made it fun. We all have those. So
I haven't talked to Luke forever. I gotta find him again.
He's around, but yeah. So that's. I don't think they're open anymore. I wish they were. It's a great room.
That looks like a cool
nice picture.
Yeah. Before an iPhone. Oh, that's from
we
tonight.
got more yet. So,
No, we don't.
no, we don't? Okay. So we were out of photos. So here we go. We got to get to our weekly report with the Cito here. So I'm going to tease you with this one thing. If there is one thing you'd want to tell all the bands out there that they should be concentrating on, what would that one thing be? And only one thing. So Cito, what's going on this weekend? It is New Year's Eve, so everything's going on.
I did double check the pictures. That was the last one of the year. Well, hello everyone. This is the Out of Town report here, and I got my thing on here. So at the original in Minot, we got the Boys of Summer playing out there, and then Laughing Sun Brewery, Bismarck, Mandan.
Our favorite venue.
Yeah, they got Jazz Marie out there on Thursday, and then New Rain on Friday night. SPG General. Not like that.
General
is on January 1st. The Corner Bar in Jamestown will be playing out there on New Year's Eve night. And then we got the Downtown Report going on with Dempsey's Quick 56 on Wednesday. The open mic on Genie Powers Thursday. And then Boogie Nights is on Friday. At the Aquarium, we got Stay Gold Pony Boy. And then Baltic to Boardwalk and Anomic Fall DMG on Saturday.
Yes.
At the Cellar, we got Sorab. Wade, you do this fucking on purpose, man. I'm not even going to read that. Delta 42, we got Kathy Brecky and the 42nd Street Jazz Band out there on Thursday night or Friday night. And then Fargo VFW Quick 56 is out there on Friday.
Quick 56, working it up this week.
Yep.
Yes.
And then the DCR open mic nights happen on Thursdays. And then at Rick's, we got the Shotgun Facelift Anomic Ashfall on Friday.
Rick's.
And you know, that's the one time I wish we had a night off.
That would be a great show to hit.
I would go to that. So make sure you guys want to see a metal show, go out to Rick's and check that out. Specs has Fourth Wave out there on Friday night. Front Street Vinyl and Vino DJ AP on Thursday doing their thing. And then the open mic is always on Mondays out at the Front Street. We got the JC Chumleys, Rick Adams' third annual Acoustic Sharks is out there. And then Murphy's Pub Kissing Company is on Friday. And then Side Street Heart and Soul is on Friday. And then the Bar 9 Ditching Delmer is on Friday. The Downtown Acoustic Report Thursday, December 30th is Jim White at the 701. And then
I finally figured out where that building was.
it's kind of hard to
I
find.
just drove right by. I was like, oh, there it is. Wow. That's right here the entire time.
They had a construction going on and you had to really go around it. So I like how my picture up on the monitor is frozen. I don't think my camera's moving, but it kind of looks like I'm one of those like weather reporters, and then it froze up. You know, well, we're still talking. We can still hear you.
Back to you, Jim.
Yeah. And then we got on Friday we got a whole bunch of people playing out. We got Gordon Christensen at the Swing Barrel, Michael Pink at the Three Lions, Zach Johnson at Rookies, Terry Mackner at O'Kelly's, Jim White Roundup Saloon, Rick Vedler at the Mills Lounge, and Erica Lundberg at Outstate Brewery. So tons of acoustic shows going on out there, guys. Get out there.
New Year's Eve, yes.
And then Saturday, the 18th, we got Mike Morris playing his acoustic show at the Flying Pig in Silver Dollar. And then Uptown, we got at the Windbreak. Jacked Up is going to be Thursday. Some shitty cover band on Friday. And then we're out there on cleanup duty on Saturday on the 1st of January. The Southtown Poorhouse, Rhyme or Reason will be out there on Friday. And then at the Shooting Star Minoman, we have Two-Way Crossy making their way up north here. That'll be out there on Friday and Saturday. So, and then that's it for me for the weekend report. So, back to you, Wade.
There you go. Thanks, Cito. And that's what's going on this weekend. So, Mr. Aakre, if there is one thing you would tell any band, upcoming or not, what's one thing that they possibly should focus, concentrate, I don't know, whatever, just a good piece of advice?
I don't know. The most important thing is your show, but to remember that you're in the service industry. You know, you're no different than a server.
I like that humble.
If you're
idea.
playing in bar, I mean, if
I
you're
really
playing
do.
if you're playing in the Target Center, do what you want. But if you're playing in a bar, whether it be big or small, the hard part to remember is we all don't want to do it. We're all artists, but your job is to sell fucking beer. So do a good job of it. and be nice to people, and they will remember. Because
Said by one of the greatest right here. Okay. That's beautiful. But right now we got to get to some juvenile destruction. So here is this week's Off the Roof. I know Derek's partaking in this bad. That's it.
That was perfect game too. You're hired.
On for Father Time. And yeah, nothing happened. I was so surprised that thing didn't explode, but oh well. Not them all can be that great. So there you go, this week's Off the Roof. So we got to wrap it up here. We've been going for probably around an hour now. Can you believe that? We've been talking for an hour there, Miss Matt.
too long.
Man, too long? No, I don't think ever. But
I agree.
You got anything left for the good of the order? Anything coming up? Anything that you want to shout out to? Whatever. Here's your chance.
Well, I don't have a lot, but I was just gonna look. I'm at the Bar 9. If you're throwing your stuff up there on January 7th, Friday.
January 7th next week, so you'll have one up there.
Taking New Year's Eve and that whole weekend off.
And probably rightly so.
Yeah, I gotta take naps.
All right. Anything else? Anything else for the good of the order?
No, thanks,
okay. Okay. But thanks for coming on. It's been awesome. Definitely awesome to talk with you and all that. Hopefully we can get you back on here again. But you got to remember, your band may be in trouble if your drummer has more charisma than your front man. But that's why my band's doing just fine. So until next time.
Pony Park.
Hey, just a little.